We'll start class all the way back in your chair, please. And for now, you can have your weights down on the floor. And I'll slide here a little bit, but if you cannot see me, you please slide. Because if I slide too much, then someone else just can't see me. So make sure you've got a good view. And we'll start today with our arms down on the side. Let's breathe through the nose as we inhale, reach up, and exhale, reach down. We'll do that several times. Many of you were here on Monday, and you got to hear me talk and tell some stories about my retreat, but I wanted to share the same stories, or maybe a few new ones, just in case anyone wasn't here on Monday. So from here, we'll drop the arms down and put the hands on the thighs. Continue to breathe in as we pull the elbows back, lift the chest, and out as we press the arms forward, round the shoulders. We'll do that a few more times, in and up, out and down. So I just got home from a 10-day silent retreat, and I go on silent retreats. This was my 4th one, and I have been on one every year for 4 years. But not always a 10-day. 10 days is quite a long time to sit alone with your thoughts. From here, you can pause in the middle, sit up nice and tall in your chair, and bring your palms together at your chest. Continue to breathe through your nose. Inhale, open the arms, and exhale, close. So one of the things that we do on retreat is we spend the first 3 whole days focusing on our breath, and specifically on feeling the sensation of breath as it goes in and out through your nose. From here, keep your arms open and hold it. We're going to press the chin forward and then pull your chin back, like your chin is on a shelf. Press it forward and pull it back. And the reason we spend such a long time on just focusing on the breath is because you need a little time to calm down all of your thoughts. It takes a few days before the joys and concerns of everyday life start to settle, and you can feel that sense of inner peace. From here, keep the chin tucked. Let's bring the arms across and put your hands on opposite elbows. We're going to pull the arms to the left and look to the right. Come back to middle, arms go right, look to the left, and continue to alternate. Now, I hope you're still breathing through your nose, and maybe you notice that as you inhale, the air feels cool coming into your nostrils. And as you exhale, the air feels warm because your body temperature is warmer than the air temperature. So inhales feel cool compared to the rest of your body, and exhales feel warm, the same temperature as your body. Let's do one more on each side. And then take a pause in the middle. We're going to open the arms again. We'll lean to the right and look to the left. Come back to middle, lean to the left, and look to the right. Back to middle. Let's alternate this a few times. If you'd like to add on, you can stretch one arm up overhead just to get a little deeper stretch. So you can imagine that 3 days of feeling your breath, it can get a little boring. But that's also the point, because when we're spinning around in our thoughts, we can't find peace. We have to get to a little of a boring place before we can really start to settle and let the tension that we carry in our day-to-day life relax. From here, let's pause in the middle, find your armrests, and slide your hips all the way forward to the edge of your chair. If you have any back pain, please feel free to stay all the way back, but sitting forward will help increase your core strength. From here, we'll pump the ankles. And I'll tell you what, 10 days of sitting up nice and straight will really work on your core strength. Now, there's no rules on how you have to sit on retreat. It's okay to sit in a chair, but a lot of us choose to sit crisscross applesauce style on the floor. So your hips get tight, your back gets tight, and for me, I don't know about you, I carry most of my tension in my shoulders. When I'm stressed, I start to feel like this. So it took a long time for me to get very comfortable in a relaxed seated position. Let's keep the feet flat on the floor, and then we're going to open and close through the hips. After 3 days of focusing on our breath, the way we would describe it, or the way the teacher would describe it, because we weren't talking much, was that our mind became sharp. We had just been focusing on this one thing for 3 days. So then it was really quite easy. In our day-to-day life, I got to do this and do that and call that person and run the errand, and it's chaotic. But we spent so many days with a single pointed focus that then we could start to direct that focus in the direction of our choosing. So we'll keep our feet or our knees in a neutral position. You can bend your elbows. We're going to march the knees and walk the arms. Now, we didn't sit around and meditate all day. We had meal breaks. We had time to go for walks or take a shower. And you were allowed to talk to the teacher as well as the management. They just discouraged chit-chat or visiting. But if you had a need or a question, you were welcome to talk. Let's keep the feet flat on the floor. We're going to take the arms back, press them back, keep them back, and tuck your chin. We're going to move through our hips. Please press your heels down and drive your knees out slightly. And then lean forward as you look down. And then keep your eyes ahead as you sit up. We'll do that several times. Now pause here. Please do not stick your chin forward. Keep your chin tucked. Very good. Just lean your upper body forward and then sit up. So once we had time to really focus our attention on our breath and also to let go of some of those anxieties and depressions that we all tend to carry around with us, whether we like it or not. Once we got to that stage where we could put those anxieties down and start to feel that sense of inner peace, we began a new type of practice that's called a body scan practice. Let's do one more hinge at the hips and then sit all the way up, hands on the thighs. Let's do something fun. We would start our body scan at the top of our head. So go ahead and tap the top of your head. This will be a coordination exercise. We would move our attention down to our shoulders and our arms and our chest, and eventually down to our stomach. Go ahead and tap your stomach. Now you know where I'm going with this. Tap your head, circle your stomach. Good luck, have fun. It's okay if it's hard. This is just a coordination drill for us. Let's take a pause, drop the arms, stretch them back and lift your chest. And then come back. Let's do it on the other side. Tap the top of your head and then your stomach. If you can add on from here, take that hand on your stomach and begin to circle. Keep tapping your head. Very good. Take a pause and drop the hands onto the thighs. We'll do something similar here. We'd bring our attention down to our hips and then our legs. Let's take our left hand front and back on the thigh, right hand tap. Now, as we do this, you can feel the tapping sensation on your thigh. You can feel the rubbing sensation on your thigh. Part of having our mind focused was learning how to pay attention to very small sensations like this. The word for it is mindfulness. Let's take a pause. Slide your right hand front to back. Tap your left hand. Mindfulness is a fancy word for slowing down and focusing on the good stuff. Again, we so often and easily get caught in our to-do list or what this person's doing or what that person said, and that's a normal part of life, but that's not part of retreat. Retreat is coming back into your body and practicing maintaining that sense of inner peace. Let's take a pause here. We would take our attention down our lower legs and then to our feet. Let's pump the ankles here. And notice how your feet feel on the bottom of the floor. This was one of my favorite mindfulness techniques as an athlete. Before we would race, we would sit in what's called the heat box. And every couple minutes, it's closer and closer to your race. So you can imagine the anxiety starts to build up. So a sports psychologist taught me think about the bottom of your feet. It's called a grounding exercise. Again, it's practicing coming out of those anxious thoughts and into your body. This is also a way to be more present. Let's take a pause. From here, you can open and close the thighs. How very often and common it is for us humans to be worrying about the future or ruminating on the past, and yet we miss these precious little moments that are called the present. Again, this is another reason that I love to go on retreat, because it's a practical way to do what, personally, I'll speak for myself, what my Creator calls me to do in the first place, which is to be present and serve others. And I am of service to no one if I am worrying about my future or ruminating on my past. But there is no flip to switch. It doesn't happen magically. It requires practice. So let's take a pause in the middle here, and please pick up your weights. I've been gone for a while. My 8-pound weights feel heavier than I remember. From here, check your posture, squeeze your bum, lift your chest, and tuck your chin. Let's start with some alternating taps, left over right. About halfway through the retreat, not only were you having to sit for long periods of time and meditate, the teacher also gave us a challenge. See if you can sit without moving. No scratching your nose, no messing with your hair, no stretching out your knees or your ankles. See how long you can just sit. And the goal of this practice was not to sit like a statue. It was to reach a point of acceptance with yourself. Let's keep the left hand on top and hold it here. We're going to pull the elbow back. Please remember to open the chest with this movement. We should do this with great posture. And some of you might know, as an athlete, I had 1 knee surgery, but 3 hip surgeries. So sitting still in a cross-legged position for me brings some discomfort. Again, the goal was not to sit like a statue or to torture yourself, but there is a bit of inner peace to be found. Let's take a pause and switch sides. Again, nice tall chest as we pull the right arm back. The goal was, can you find a little peacefulness? Is it okay that your knee hurts? Do I have to be sad or angry or anxious that I have these little aches and pains throughout my body? Or could I come back to my breath? Sometimes my knee hurts, sometimes it doesn't. Let's take another breath. So again, it's a practice of coming out of those anxieties and depressions and back into acceptance, back into the present moment, which for me has become a spiritual practice. Let's take a pause here. Hands can come back on the thighs. We'll turn the palms up. If you'd like an easy option, keep the hands on your thighs. If you'd like a harder option, take your arms down straight. Roll the shoulders back, lift your chest. We're going to bring one arm up at a time with perfect posture, please. As the weight lowers down, your shoulders do not. Remember to keep your chin tucked. Bonus points if you're squeezing your bum and pressing your knees out to the side. So sometimes, you can imagine, I could not sit like a statue for an hour, and I sure as heck could not be peaceful with the pain that I would feel. Those are the moments when I knew it was a good idea to just get up and go for a walk. Let's keep the arms straight for now, but I want them then to bend up to your shoulders. Please tuck your tail, and you might hold it here if that's enough for you, or you might add on to a sit-up. One day, I was really upset. I was angry. Sometimes when my pain gets overwhelming, I'm angry about it. I'm frustrated. I don't know that resentful is the right word, but it's like I have this problem that I can't fix. There's no solution. And I get frustrated with that. So I paused my meditation and I went out for a walk. 15, 20 minutes. I felt better. more at peace. And I was talking to myself the whole time, ranting and raving really, but no one was around, so I didn't disturb anyone else. Let's do 3 more sit-ups. And it reminded me of the way that I handle anger and frustration in my day-to-day life. Very often I have this habit. Go ahead and pause in the middle. Let's drop the arms down. And then we're going to step the feet from left to right. I think it's left over from my athlete days that when there is a problem, I want to fix it. And it's my job to fix it, and gosh darn it, I will fix it. But sometimes that just makes me angry and frustrated, and the problem doesn't get fixed, but I feel worse. So having a space on a spiritual retreat where I could practice that and notice, how do I respond to problems I can't fix? I get angry. But that doesn't help, and I'm the one who ends up hurt. So that was a wonderful learning experience for me, how important it is to practice that acceptance and that grace. Sometimes I can't fix it. I'm not perfect. I got to get up and take a walk until I feel better. And then I can come back to my peaceful place. And I don't think I'm the only one who struggles with that. So please, if you ever find yourself spinning or stewing about a problem with no seeming solution, give yourself some grace, some compassion, call a friend, take a walk. Because it's just a normal part of our life, but it is our job to come back to our peaceful place. From here, let's pause in the middle. We're going to kick the left foot forward, tap the heel, and then bring the foot back to flat. Other side. If that's easy for you, go ahead and kick the foot without tapping the heel, and we'll continue to alternate. I mentioned earlier how on this retreat, it's all vegetarian food, and the food was wonderful. One day we had fajitas, one day we had stir fry, we had a lentil soup one day, we had mac and cheese. That was a good day. And they would give us dessert, even though it was plain, simple meals, just soups and salads and some toast with butter. They would make us banana bread or little chocolate bites, or one day they served us dates, which if you don't snack on dates, they are nature's sweetest treat. They're very delicious, full of fiber, full of vitamins, and you feel like you're eating a brownie or a piece of cake because they're just so delicious. Let's take a pause in the middle, and then we'll bring the palms up on the thighs. Head up, shoulders back, squeeze your bum. And then let's add a chin tuck. Yep, very good. Pull those elbows back, and then tap your thighs. As the elbows come back, you should feel your collarbones getting longer. So the posture is getting taller by working the muscles in the upper back and shoulders. Let's do 3 more. And then take a pause. Bring your weights straight up and down on your thighs, and we're back to the beginning. Let's tap. So during our free time, you're supposed to meditate as much as you can possibly tolerate it. I needed breaks. I needed lots of breaks, and you are encouraged and allowed to take breaks. And my favorite thing to do on my breaks would be to watch the geese. The first time I did a 10-day silent retreat, the geese were just babies. They were so fluffy and so cute. And this time they were more like awkward teenagers or maybe older adults. Let's take a pause with the left hand on top. We'll pull the elbow back and open up. And what I learned about nature on this retreat, watching those geese, is at the very same time that the babies are losing their fluff and their adult feathers are coming in, the adults are also molting and losing feathers, and new feathers are coming in. So isn't that funny how even as adults, it seems to be a part of nature that every once in a while we have to shed that top layer so that the new stuff can come in. Let's take a pause and switch sides. Again, nice open chest as you pull the elbow back and tap. So there were 2 families of 3 baby geese. One only child, I named her Lucy because I'm an only child. She was my favorite to watch. And there was one family with 10 whole baby geese. And I heard one of the residents shared with me that just last weekend, y'all had a what seemed to be a party of geese in this pond back here. So all the geese from the golf course over there came and had a little swim party, it sounds like. So hopefully if you have time to go and see our own bit of beautiful nature here in our backyard, you can take some time and enjoy that. From here, let's take a pause. Palms can go up on the thighs. This is easy. This is hard. Take your pick. Either way, this time we're taking both arms up. As you lower down, keep your tall shoulders. Chins are tucked. Very good. The other thing that the geese taught me on the last retreat, as well as this one, I just think of it like nature, but what they teach me is that nature has kind of a simple path, and it's a much slower path than us humans try to stick to. Let's keep the weights up on our shoulders. Tuck your tail. You might hold it right here, that's fine, or you might add a sit-up. What geese do every day, they wake up, they go for a walk, and they eat. And then they come back, and they take a swim, and they drink. And then they give themselves a bath, and then they take a nap. And then they wake up, and they go for a walk, and they eat. And they come back, and they swim, and they drink. And they take a bath, and they take a nap. And they do this like 3 to 5 times a day. And how often am I like, no naps. I got to go to Target. I got to cook the dinner. I got to call the person. People want this. How often are we so worried about staying busy and productive? Come all the way up. Drop those weights down. Let's tap the feet left and right. And again, I learned just by watching the pace of nature, and God made our great earth and all the beings that live on it. So maybe a little bit by extension, there's a pace of life that I personally am allowed to slow down to if I just take enough time to notice and watch. Something we talked about at our morning staff meeting today is the difference between your head and your heart, and that you need both. If you're always in your heart, you never run the errands, and they do need to get run. But if you're always in your head, you're so anxious, and no matter how many errands get run, there's no peace. And that's not my higher power's will for my life. My higher power wants me to find that peace and to share it, to have a service mindset where I share it with the people that I interact with. Let's take a pause in the middle. One more lower body exercise. We'll tap the heel and step the foot, alternating sides. If you'd like to add on, you can kick the foot without tapping the heel. And I hope that no one feels put out by my sharing my personal experience. I know that it is a little unique and maybe not always traditional, and yet I've thoroughly enjoyed having a path to walk on. And actually working here was the very beginning of my finding a path. And Christian ministry has been a big reason why I've been able to find that inner peace in my life. Pastor Pete's care has been a big reason how I've found that peacefulness in my life. And also my yoga practice, which I learned as an athlete when I was injured. The only exercise I could do was yoga. And I've continued to do yoga for 20 years now. And I teach a seated yoga class on Tuesdays at 10 o'clock where we do a little bit of meditation at the beginning and end. So anytime, please come up and join me for that. Let's take a pause here and put our weights all the way down on the floor. We'll take our hands onto our thighs, pull the elbows back, lift the chest. Let's hold it today and breathe. If you do come to a yoga class, this pose is called cow pose. It's what we use to open the muscles in the front of the chest. And then you can press your hands forward and round your shoulders, take some deep breaths. This is called a cat pose, and it helps stretches the upper back and shoulders. Come back to the middle, sit up nice and tall. We'll take our left hand out to the side, and this one's called thread the needle. Take your left hand, thread the needle under your right arm, and then turn your body and look to the right. Let's hold that there and take a few breaths. This should feel like a nice, gentle twist along your back. Come back to the middle. Take a big breath in. Let's pull the right arm back and thread the needle to the left. Allow the shoulders to turn gently. Keep your chin tucked as you breathe. And then come back to center. Let's do one more yoga pose to finish with. We'll step the left foot out to the side, and the straighter your leg can be, the better. But don't hurt yourself. Whatever's comfortable is the right place. We'll drop the right arm down. If your shoulders get sore, then just touch the shoulder. But if you have no pain on that right side, then lift the arm up, and we'll lean over to the left. Look all the way up to the ceiling and hold it here as you breathe. One more time. Come back to the middle and sit all the way up. We'll switch the feet. Right foot goes out as straight as you can with that knee, and drop the left arm. Touch the shoulder, lift the chest. If you have pain, stay right here. Otherwise, reach up and lean to the right. Let's look up towards the ceiling and take a deep breath. One more time. From here, come all the way back to the middle. Step those feet together. Let's interlace the fingertips and circle the wrists. And I'll tell you one last story about this retreat center. I do lots of retreats. I just plain like them, change directions. But this retreat's my very favorite because this is a free retreat center. You can stay there and be fed there and receive teaching there for 10 whole days for absolutely free. On the way out the door, you can leave a donation if you have the means and you feel like it. Let's take a pause here and put the palms together, point and flex your fingertips. And for me, that feels like an extra wholesome experience, that it is truly a place for someone to come and get a reprieve from any joys or concerns that they have in their life, any anxieties or depression, and they can take that time and space to find their own inner peace. And that place is provided by volunteers and the donations of others. And so maybe you have a place like that in your life. I sure hope that you do. And maybe not. Maybe I just planted a little seed there, and I'll let you decide if you'd like to water it. And I'm so excited to see how we all grow. Thank you for being here today. Have a wonderful afternoon. And I'll see you next time.